What is up, YouTube? We are back breaking down UFC 325 back-to-back numbered events, 13 fights, three of them being road to the UFC bouts, which technically counts on this, whatever. And then four got canceled. The cancellations were Kwon killed versus Rongju. Rongju withdrew from the bout, but Kwon killed is on it, and we'll talk about him in a second. Sergey Spivak versus Anta Deliha was rescheduled, canceled for this card. Jimmy Crute, Dustin Jacoby, also canceled. Crute ruptured ACL. He has some of the worst luck with injuries, unfortunately. Hope he has a speedy recovery. And then, big news today, probably the biggest news today, we had Namzray Bayar versus Aaron Tao canceled because Aaron Tao missed weight. But no, it wasn't just a regular weight miss. This man blatantly cheated, pulled something out of the DC playbook, had his elbow leaning on that curtain, and then they read off 122 or 122 and a half. Commission immediately intervened and was like, no, get back on the scale. And then came in at 125, 129. Bout was canceled altogether. Tao's probably getting cut, rightfully so. So we have back-to-back number of events to start the year, start the Paramount era, as well as back-to-back controversies with the weigh-ins both weeks. So, yeah, crazy to jeopardize your whole career because of this. This guy's not making weight. This is embarrassing at this point. If you can't make the weight, don't be that heavy. Ridiculous. Obviously, there are sometimes external factors that can really hinder this, and where even factors that I can be a little sympathetic towards. I don't know the whole situation, but that's embarrassing in my eyes, looking at it from a broad perspective, I guess you could say. But we still got 13 fights. We're gonna break it down. We got to see what we're doing for. Oh no! Wait, hold on, I just lost it. Yeah, for our random hunt of the day. Let's see real quick. Random hunt of the day. Let's get a good one. We haven't had any good ones start the year thus far. End of the year, towards the end of the year at least, we were going crazy. So hopefully we can get back on track. We got Warhogs in Verhonga, Savannah. So let's go load this up right now. Looks like we are going to Verhonga to get some Warthogs. Let's get a diamond. Let's show what it's like in this life. Just got to see what their drink time is. That was another thing. I wasn't really looking at the drink times last time. Okay, so we're looking for, in terms of trophy score, 58.19 and above is diamond. Max weight, 330.69 pounds is max weight. Drink time from 15 to 18. So let's set this up. Let's get it going. Let me set this up first before we go into the fights, actually. Make sure we're all locked in and whatnot. But the main card is pretty decent. Prelims are meh. In terms of name value, obviously, we're not gonna, you never know with these guys. I'd prefer to be proven wrong than to gas up some of these guys and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, they're not that good. So we'll see what happens. I am pretty excited though for this main card. There's some really good fights, some decent stakes with some of these fights. Obviously, the main event being the one with the oh, excuse me, with the biggest stakes. Oh my gosh. But yeah, let's start off with the first fight on the card, and we got Lawrence Louis versus Sulian Grangbo. So I mean, I'm just gonna throw this out there, because you know me, I'm one of the rawest YouTubers in terms of MMA on the scene. Um, I don't know any of these guys. I didn't do research, so I basically picked either off of surnames or how they looked in their Tapology photo. Just being real. That's just how it is. Until I get to know these Road to the UFC guys, who I've always struggled to kind of get down with because like none of them have really stood out. None of them have really went on crazy runs, at least thus far, to my knowledge. So I'm picking Sulian Grongbo by decision just because, in my eyes, based off this photo, Lawrence Louis looks like he can get chinned. But I don't think he's going to get chinned. I think it's going decision. I'm leaning Sulian Grongbo. On to, oh wait, I gotta find, where's some water here? I gotta find, where are the Warhogs at? Now, where are these Warhogs at? Oh, let me stop running. Alright. Alright. As long as it's not like a lion trying to come up on me or anything. Um, oh yeah, I need to find where the Warhogs are. Yeah, but like, yeah, these Road to the UFC guys, if I'm not doing any of the research, because like I said, I'm trying to commit this whole being the rawest MMA YouTuber, you're not going to get much of a take on it. You know, I'm not going to be throwing much on it. I'm not an idiot anymore. So it's in 2023 where it was like, oh yeah, we'll just throw money. But, well, I'll probably throw a little bit of money, but you know, it's a couple dollars, you know, stuff that, you know, if I lost, I'd be like, yeah, I don't really care too much, you know. But dang, where are these Warhogs at? They gotta be up. They gotta be up north. And of course, I destroyed the whole north. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Found one drinking zone and I can't even go up there because I destroyed that zone. Jeez, man, we are in not such a good place right now. I'm gonna still go up north. I mean, I have no choice. Oh gosh, I'm sick. All right, yeah, but Sulian Grongbo decision. On to the next fight, we got Sebastian Salzley versus Keiichiro Nakamura. I'm going with Salazar by first round KO. Nakamura looks like a child. You know, watch now. Nakamura's going to go out there and make Salazar look crazy, stupid, and everything, and it's going to be funny. And you know, I'm hoping these guys prove me wrong and tempt me to put them on the watch list. I'm hoping, but you know, I just as of right now, I'm just going off of Tapology photos or last names and. Nakamura looks like he's getting chinned, and I'm going with Salazar. On to the next fight, we got Sang Uk Kim versus Dom Mar Fan. You know, this one I'm pretty sure I picked based off of the nicknames. We got Dom Mar Fan, nicknamed Street Buddha, versus Sang Uk Kim, nicknamed the Frogman. Um, yeah, so I think just based off the nickname. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Something over there. There's something over there. I've seen it. Please don't tell me it's a widgeon. Level 3 line. It's a female line. What is she doing? Girl, your drink time zone is over. Alright, we'll still, for funsies, we'll get it. Been receiving some criticism that want more animal shot in general, so. Blood, blood, that's a bad shot. That's a bad shot, I should have just waited. Lester Cadu, warning call. You hate to see that. Yeah, I'm going Marfan decision here, guy. I mean, like I said, don't know any of these guys. We're really just, throwing that out there. Oh my goodness, another one. Or is that the same one? She's attentive. Yeah, the wind is definitely not in my favor. Uh, get. Ah, I blew it. I blew it again. Bad shots, man. Wow, this has been a horrible start to 2026 in the Hunter, man. Jeez. You hate to see that. Um, okay, on to finally a fight where I know these fighters. We got Khan Awfully versus Yiza, I think it's Yizha. I forget how to pronounce it. It's not Yizha, I'll tell you that. Yeah, I think it's Yizha, I'm pretty sure, yeah. So, um, Khan hopefully. I think he's on a win streak now, which is kind of crazy. I thought this guy was kind of garbage, with all due respect. I really did not think this guy was good. He was just one of those guys. I'm pretty sure came off the McGregor and Chandler season. Um, or it might have been the one after that with Myron Santos winning. I think it was the one after that, maybe. Yeah, and I just don't think he's that good, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he is on a win streak, I'm pretty sure, or at least he's coming off a win, I'm pretty sure. I think it was against some no name, but he did look pretty good in that last fight. Pretty sure I bet against him in that as well. I can't remember who it was. And then Yijia, I remember this guy not being too high on him, and now forget who he faced the last time, but he looked pretty decent too. And I was like, hey, maybe I got to see more from him, to really buy into it. But I was like, yeah, this is promising. I until if hopefully gets a win this time around, I might buy into the hype. I'm still not there, or I'm not even saying the hype. I might buy into him and like in terms of wanting to bet him in the future, but I'm just not there yet. I'm going Yiza first round KO. It's gonna be quick. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be awesome, and Yiza first round KO. On to the next fight, though. We got Oban Elliott versus Jonathan McAuliffe. Tricky fight, man. So McAuliffe, I think he only has one fight in the UFC, but he's been out for a minute now. Like, it might have been a short notice debut, or maybe it was just debut or whatever, but I thought he had a really great performance. Can't remember who he faced to, but I remember the body kicks were all day, man. Very technical striking. He did. It wasn't the most fun fight, but it was just like I was watching the fight. I was like, wow, this guy's composed. He has some weapons. I think he did actually make it onto the watch list, but I watched away the whole watch list because I just forgot to keep track of it and I missed a lot of prospects in between. So I'm starting 2026 fresh with it. And McAuliffe, would probably still be on it if I didn't wipe it all off. So, but he's going up against Oban Elliott, and Oban Elliott, I was, somewhat high on. I think win over Basel Hafez. He lost to that other guy recently. I didn't get to watch that card, the Azerbaijan card, where he lost to that one dude. That's like I think he's Korean, but insane grappling, boring fighter, but like really good grappling, very technical. Just kind of like dominates everybody. I forget what his name. Oh, that line did die. Okay, so we will claim that real quick, actually. Or is it easier? No, I'll go around this way. Okay. So yeah, this is a tricky fight, man. And then I watched like a couple of the embeddeds this week, on lunch and everything, and Oban was kind of saying, after that loss, like he felt like he was going to retire, and the mentality thing is a little worrisome, especially like McAuliffe is no slouch, at least based off that one fight I've seen him fight in. Um, And I really do think, this is going to be a close and competitive fight. I do think, if I had to lean, like I said, very tough to predict. I am going to go Mikhalif just based off of what I remember, and also it's just like if there's ever a close fight, who would they rather give it to? I think they'd rather give it to the homegrown guy. So, um, or yeah, the guy on home turf. So I think I'm going to bet Mikhalif here decision. I wouldn't be surprised if Oban Elliott wins, but Mikhalif did look decent from what I remember. So we'll see what happens there. On to the next fight, though, we got Torres Finney versus Jacob Malkoun. Um, this fight is kind of interesting too. A lot of people are probably thinking it's going to be boring because these are both grappling heavy guys. Obviously, Torres Finney got a lot of backlash for that Robert Valentin when he had last year, where he only had one significant strike landed across 3 rounds and just held down Valentin the whole time. Um, and Malkoun, he's a weird fighter. He has like a couple no contests. He has that win over Petrosky when Petrosky tried shooting a takedown and got clipped on Malkoun's hip, which was weird. Oh, it was a non-vital. Okay, where did it go? We get dang. Is it going this way? Okay, so it's going this way. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. Like Malkoun's had a weird career. I think he's been out since that Petrosky. No, I think he had one more fight after that, but he lost. I can't remember too. It wasn't to like a big prospect. It was like one decent prospect. So he's been out for well over a year, from my understanding. Um, I don't know. Malkoun's never a guy I can really trust. Maybe if it was a guy that was striking heavily, but I think this is tailor made for Torres Finney to go out there and prove a point in my eyes. And I think Torres Finney will actually do it this time. I think first round will be a little boring, kind of both feeling each other out, and then Torres Finney just lands a flash KO on Malkoun, out cold. It's gonna be crazy, and then people will start to, I wouldn't say buy into the hype again, but they'll be a little bit more warmed up to the guy of Torres Finney. So we'll see what happens in that regard. But yeah, I think I got Torres Finney second round KO, getting it done by that. On to the next fight, we got Cam Rouston versus Cody Brundage. Um, Cam Rouston, a guy that came off of Dana White's Contender Series, what was it, in the 2024 season? So was that season 7 or something? His debut was, I'm pretty sure it was on short notice. He looked decent. I wasn't like too high. I'm still not that high on him. But Brundage, in my eyes, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago at this point, I was saying that Brundage looks like he's like, I think it was more like a year ago, maybe, yeah, like where I was saying Brundage isn't the worst of the worst at middleweight. But it kind of seems like past couple performances, he's kind of found his way back in that not so great realm. So, I hope that I'm wrong and everything. Oh, this is a really open area. Do I have a tent? Let me see. I do not have a tent. I would love. This would be a good spot to put down a tent. Obviously, a lot over here. No, nothing. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, so I don't know. I can't, as much as Brundage is like in a way grown on me, I would never say I'm a Cody Brundage fan. I don't think anyone can really admit something like that. But he's kind of grown on me. He doesn't seem like the cocky D-bag he once was. It kind of seems like he's a little more humble now. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know. So I think Rouston's just gonna be quicker. He's gonna be sharper on the feet, And I think he will find himself getting a second round KO over questionable durability of Cody Brundage. So, oh yeah, Brundage had a really bad performance against Eric McConico, where I bet Brundage, and then yeah, McConico won. So yeah, I'm not. We'll see what happens. Maybe it was an off night, but yeah. On to the next fight, we got Billy Elcana versus Junior Tafa. Junior Tafa, second fight at light heavyweight now, I believe. Um, dang, I want to find these Warhogs, man. We'll go over here. Yeah, and then Billy Elcana. I think he had a short notice debut against Goosekoff where he held him on the ground the whole first round, that ended up getting KO'd or subbed in the second. Very short notice, like a week or a few days, and Goosekoff is like actually kind of decent for light heavyweight. And then he picked up like two wins after that, but they were like kind of mediocre. He wasn't doing much, wasn't really pushing the pace. He was just doing enough to win, from what I remember. But Billy Elcana is like in a very weak light heavyweight division. I think that he is somebody that could eventually sneak into the rankings. I don't know how far in the rankings, um, but I just think he's technical enough where he might be able to survive. He does kind of look like he's a smaller light heavyweight from what I remember, which can be a little concerning. I don't think that's going to be a concern even against the former heavyweight in Junior Tafa. I think both Tafa brothers are horrible. I think they should be cut. Um, at one point, they might have been a little better. I don't think so anymore. So I would ideally think that Elcana will get this done, and money's probably on decision, I would imagine. But I feel like Tafa's gonna quit, and he's gonna lose, and it's gonna be Elcana end of the first round KO, and yeah. So another Tafa loss, another Elcana win. On to the next fight, though. We got first one on the main card. So we were just talking about this guy. We got Jamie Malarkey versus the guy Quillen Sal killed. Um, this fight is a little interesting. Like it's interesting just because Sal Killed is on an insane. I wouldn't say insane. He's on a pretty decent hype train right now, especially after that Nasrat win. He had the 10-second Jubilee KO in his debut. Went to a pretty close but boring decision with Yanel Ashmouz, from what I remember. I think it was Yanel Ashmouz. Or was it Muin? It wasn't Muin Gaffarov. That's bantamweight. I think it was Yanel Ashmouz. And then he had that insane one of the best head kick KOs I've ever seen over Nazar Hakparas. I thought he was dead. I'm so glad. It seems like Nasrat's good. I was genuinely. That was one. That was definitely a top three. Oh my gosh, I think he's actually dead moment. When I saw that head kick land. Um, I'm sure everyone's riding Sal Killed first, second round KO. It's not the worst thing to want to do that just based off of recency bias. Malarkey doesn't look like he's the same, especially in the durability category. Um, I don't. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I don't think Sal Kill will get the finish here. I think he is going to win. I think it's going to be decision. I feel like this is going to be one of those fights where the hype train kind of slows down a little bit, I think. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. The females are not moving, guy. 6 lines resting right up over there. Frames are lagging, bro. I'm probably gonna cross over this hill and see a bunch of animals if that's the case. Um, yeah, so yeah, I just have a feeling that Sal Killed is, he's gonna be like he's gonna be trying to push the pace a little bit. I just feel like Malarkey's just gonna be kind of getting out of the way of some of those power shots. He's gonna be just doing enough to kind of survive. I can see two 30-27s, 129-28 with like a close first round or something like that, maybe a close third. But yeah, I feel like South Kill will win easily, but people I feel like are going to be expecting him to. Oh my gosh, jeez, Blue Wildebeest are crazy over here, man. I feel like a lot of people are assuming that, you know, that South Kill is going to go out there and destroy him. I think the Nasra head kick was it's nothing that should ever be diminished. It's just like, can he do that every single time? I don't think so. It very well could against Malarkey. I mean, like I said, Malarkey's durability has kind of crashed recently, probably with just age and all the wars he's been in. But you never know. You never know. So yeah, Sal Kill decision I got going there. On to the next fight though. We got Taliesin Teixeira versus Tai Tuivasa. Wow, a lot of question marks here. I'm so glad I'm doing this post weigh-in though, because obviously a lot of people, myself included, was like, dude, is Tai Tuivasa even going to make the 265-pound limit? And if not, how far off is he going to be? Is it going to get canceled? He made it. He looked fairly drained. He looked like he didn't even like know if he was going to make it. Sure enough, he did. And now the fight, as of right now, is on. Um, you know, dude, this fight is which version of Tai Tuivasa am I gonna see? And it's very hard to ignore the recency bias. It's hard to ignore the year and a half layoff, the motivations, the mentality, against a young and up and comer who, don't get me wrong, got absolutely destroyed by Derek Lewis, but you also have to think that was his second fight in the UFC. They pushed him way too fast, which was ridiculous looking back on it. Um, and now they're giving him another ranked guy. I mean, granted, this is, in my opinion, decent matchmaking for the UFC, though. In a way, it's not the best, but if Tai Tuivasa wins, great. It's a highlight moment. He's back. It's whatever. And, you can mark it as, oh, he beat a young up and comer, 6'7" heavyweight in Taliesin Teixeira. Taliesin Teixeira wins, be like, okay, he's solidified his ranking in there. You have another guy you somewhat need to watch out for. So I say somewhat because this Derek Lewis loss was literally only 9 months ago, not even. I think it was like 6 months ago. Um, so it'll be interesting. It's a win-win for the UFC. Probably that's probably why they made this, even though it doesn't make too much sense. Taliesin Teixeira should have to fight outside the rankings for his third UFC fight. Like they're literally trying to push this guy in a way, or they're just trying to get anyone with a positive record at heavyweight to be better and to be that guy to challenge the Aspinalls and all those guys that in the Cyril Gons at the top. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens over here. It's such a gamble, man. It's like there is a world where I can definitely see Tai Tuivasa, going in there just landing a random like overhand hook combo or something, and then just KO and Taliesin, almost similar to way Lewis did. And then there's a part of me that's like, okay, Taliesin Teixeira is just going to run through him, and Tai Tuivasa is going to quit early, and then people are going to be like, well, that was a waste, and Tuivasa would probably get cut. I don't know. I am going to lean Teixeira, and I'm going to say second round sub here, guy. I think Tuivasa is going to have a decent first round. He's going to clip him. I don't know if he drops him. He's going to clip him with some shots. Taliesin Teixeira is going to land his own shots. Tuivasa is going to gas. And then before you know it, it's gonna be a club and sub. Teixeira gets it done, second round sub. All right, dude, this is not the best guy. Where are the Warhogs at, man? All right, I guess we'll try to go over here for the Warhogs. Um, yeah. Towson Teixeira, second round sub. On to the next fight. We got Mauricio Hufi versus Rafael Fiziev. Or Rafael Fiziev. I don't think that the R is an H in Azerbaijani. Whatever. This is a tricky fight, man. I didn't really have, I wouldn't say have time. I didn't really, going into the, oh, Warhogs. Only one guy. Okay, we're gonna sneak this one. This is gonna be crazy. Hold on. He's dead. He's dead. Okay. All right, finally got one. Jeez, man. That was my first one I've seen too. Yeah, so I wasn't really thinking about this fight too much. Leading up to this week or whatever. It's just like something that kind of slipped my mind. Kind of forgot that this was a fight. This fight is very interesting, man. I've been a little bit back and forth this whole week on who I was gonna pick. I made the predictions officially last night on my computer. Um, but leading up, I was, initially I was like, oh, Fiziev as an underdog. That's kind of crazy. You gotta take Fiziev. But now, especially with Huffy training with Volk, man, I think I'm going Huffy, man. I know Fiziev's losses are to, as of recently at least, are to Gaethje, and Gaethje's an interim champion, and but I didn't see the Bahamondes fight. To be fair, I heard Fiziev looked really well in the Bahamondes fight. Huffy's obviously coming off a loss. Oh, he's got some gray hairs like that. What the heck? Look at this thing. Look at that thing. He's got some hairs on him, man. Dang. Yeah, I see you. All right. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so Huffy's coming off of that Saint Denis loss. That was a bad look. Just got shut down, but like Denis getting like a second whiff right now in the rankings where he's kind of looking like he's improving. So, we'll see. And we're about to get to that fight here shortly. If that loss is going to age well or poorly for Huffy, but I think Huffy training with Volk and Joe Lopez now, I feel like that is what's it called? That is a good thing for his career, in my opinion. I mean, you're training with one of the best fighters of all time, training with some of the world's best coaches, and maybe he could add some new wrinkles to his game, which would be interesting. So I think I have to honestly go with Huffy by decision, man. 29-28 unanimous. Could see Fiziev winning first round, losing the last two, honestly. So, yeah, we'll see what happens, but I think Huffy gets it done, man. I think if, and maybe this is probably my bias, but if Huffy was still with the fight nerds, I probably would pick Fiziev, but I think Huffy going out of his way to make this change to go and not just train at any gym, but train with Volk and Lopez and all those guys over there in Australia. I feel like with little to no knowledge as of right now, that this might do wonders for his career. So I'm very curious. It's going to be an insane striking matchup. I could see Fiziev mixing in the grappling. I really can. I really don't think Fiziev is gonna, even though Fiziev probably feels like he can get some good exchanges out there. I don't think he's gonna want to risk standing for 15 minutes with Huffy, honestly. So it'll be very interesting. I'm actually very excited for that fight. I think that will be a really fun one for the fans. Um, Hopefully, it's not one of those where they both respect each other way too much and it's just a bunch of, spamming spinning kicks, but whiffing on all of them, and just a mess. But they're like laughing. It's something stupid, but we'll see what happens. On to the co-main event. We got Dan Hooker versus Benoit Saint Denis. Um, Another fight, that I've kind of been back and forth on. Originally, I was kind of leaning Hooker, and then I was leaning Saint Denis, but I think I'm back Hooker, man. I think I am. And I'm just going, and MMA math, it never works. I get it. But Hooker, even though that Gamrot fight was really close, Hooker survived Gamrot and oh gosh. Oh gosh. This can't be good. Hooker survived Gamrot. Oh shit. Oh shit. It's a 6 hard, okay. We're good. Just fleeing. Alright, we're good. Not chasing. I hope he's not chasing after me. No, I think we're good. I think we're good. Yeah, and it's just like, Hooker, he survived the wrestling Gamrot, even though Gamrot has like negative finishing at this point. He, you know, what else he do? He's just like, yeah, Armand submitted him. Armand's also arguably one of the best lightweights in the world. He's like if Taporia's 1A, Armand's 1B. So like, but like we're talking about Benoit Saint Denis here. This guy got destroyed on the ground by Moicano. This guy got, he actually had a decent fight with Poirier before he got clipped and caught. But it was still like, yeah, you know what I mean. So, um, that's the Warhog. They're right there, of course, they're right in front of me. Need a tripod. Oh wait. Ah, shit. Should look for more, but either way, yeah, yeah, it's interesting. It really is interesting. You know what I mean? I just don't. I know Saint Denis had a really good 2025. The Prepelec win is actually aging somewhat well because he looked decent in whoever he fought last. I think it was Dober. Was it Dober or something? But and then he had the Huffy win. That's probably his best win because the Benil one, I love Benil. I think Benil, dude, it's just Benil's chin is so cooked. It's so cooked. It's so sad. Yeah, it's a clean one. Um, it's so sad, but it's so true. So like that Benil win, yeah, it's great. First round KO, 15 seconds. That's awesome. Um, it's not the greatest win though. If he did that to like Poirier or somebody with a oh my goodness, hold on. All level ones, eh? All level ones, eh? Guy, what? What? Serious, where's the frickin' mail at, guy? Um, yeah, and then I think I have to lean Hooker, third round KO. I think Saint Denis gas himself out early, and then it's just, or not early, but like as the fight goes on, and Hooker just kind of picks him apart and gets a late finish here, and it's gonna be electric, and it's gonna be awesome. But yeah, I'm going Hooker, third round KO. That's my dog of the week. Um, yeah, Benoit Saint Denis being minus 350 is kind of criminal to me. Honestly, it really is. Um, but we'll see what happens. We will see. Honestly, should be an interesting fight. If Saint Denis does win, I wouldn't be too surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I guess. The line is somewhat lopsided for a reason, just based off of recency bias. It's just I've seen Hooker fight, man. He's not one to really back down like crazy. Like Armand's just that good. Like honestly. So yeah, but on to the last fight. We got Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez too. When the fight got announced, obviously me being one of them did not want this to happen. There's so many other contenders. I love Lopez. He's probably my favorite featherweight right now. Him or Steve Garcia, they're up there. Vallejos is up there too, actually. There's a few actually, but I'm talking like top five. Lopez is my favorite. Like in the top five or top 10 of featherweight right now, Lopez is probably my favorite. He did not deserve another title shot. The John Silva win is awesome. It's great, but there are other contenders that deserved it more. So, oh my God, that's a two. That's a one. Oh wow, you kind of hate that. Yeah, but when it got announced, I was like, okay, this is gonna be Volk. I'm not making this mistake again. It's like the Volk is just so good off the back foot, and Lopez just seemed really hesitant, and I just feel like Volk is just going to utilize his weapons again and just kind of wouldn't say make Lopez look silly, but just make Lopez look like he's not gonna win. I don't know, you know what I mean? But yeah, there was a lot. There's a lot of, and like people are still betting Volk, and like I'm like, yeah, I don't blame you, but it is one of these weird feelings, man. One of these weird feelings I have, and maybe I'll be off with the round, but as of recently, more so in the past week, 2 weeks, probably 2 weeks, I've been feeling like Diego Lopez is going to get it done, and not only get it done, but it's going to be bad. I'm talking Ilya Taporia bad, where he just lands something and Volk is just not going to eat it well, and it's just going to be over. And then Lopez is going to be champion. I have a bad feeling that that will happen. I'm going Lopez first round KO. I think first 2 minutes is kind of Volk, just like starting off, doing what he does, jabs, leg kicks, moving around on the back foot. Lopez just catches him clean with something, and he just does not get back up. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I just have a feeling that that's what's going on. Usually, when I'm really confident and stuff like this, especially at a championship level, I'm usually wrong outside of Ilya Taporia. Whenever I bet Taporia, it works, or when I feel this confident in the champion, But I think Lopez gets it done first round KO, man. Either way, we are done. We will be back for a recap hopefully on Sunday. Yeah, hopefully not Tuesday like last time. But other than that, YouTube, it's been real. Goodbye.